Today I was at the hardware store, the Ace Hardware store, and one of my friends is one of the hardware men. He asked me if I knew what a redhead was. I said no, I didn't. So he took me over to a display of screws. There, in one of the compartments, were a whole bunch of blue screws. He said those are redheads, and that some people get very upset when you show them those because they're looking for redheads. Well, redheads is a brand name, a manufacturer's name, not a type of screw. But he knew what they were talking about, and so that's why he gave them the blue colored ones, which has nothing to do with what kind of screws they are. He got to saying, different things need to be named by the right thing when they come in to ask for them at the store instead of by what people would call them. Take, for instance, a skill saw. Well, I have a couple of skill saws, and so I'll pull one up here. Here's one of my skill saws. Right here. A skill saw, made by Skil. Is that what you think of when you want a skill saw? This is a jigsaw. Skil makes all kinds of saws. I even have a power drill made by Skil. Most people are thinking of, when they say skill saw, well, they're thinking of this kind of saw. See, a power circular saw. And this one happens to be made by Skil. But I looked on his shelf. On his shelf, he didn't have any circular saws made by Skil. Not any. He did have a whole bunch of other kinds of saws. He had some made by DeWalt. He had some Hitachis, Makitas, Milwaukees, Porter Cables, Powermatics, Black & Deckers, Bosch, Delta, Rockwell, Denali. Why, he had a whole bunch of them. Even Dremel makes power tools, though they're smaller. And there are different types of Dremels. You can ask for a Dremel, but they have different types of Dremel tools. You have to ask for the right thing if you want the right thing. Supposing I ask for my Black & Decker. I have a Black & Decker tool. And supposing I was asking one of my children, and I asked them to bring my Black & Decker, and so they bring me this tool right here. Whoa, get it up so you can see it. There, my Black & Decker. It's a power router, a hand-operated router, and that's my Black & Decker. You got to be specific. You can't just call it by brand name because people don't know what you're talking about if you just use by brand name. Then he brought up hand tools. Here's a hand tool that's commonly misnamed. This is a open-end wrench, and it's adjustable, so it's an adjustable open-end wrench. This has a whole bunch of names on it. It's got drop forged, heavy duty, and it's made by, doesn't say, unless heavy duty is the manufacturer's name, and it's made in Taiwan. Open-end adjustable wrench. Not a crescent wrench. People wouldn't know what you were talking about. He mentioned that about a lot of different items. Said you really got to name it by the right thing if you want people to know what you're talking about when you come into the store. Well, when you're asking for a tool, and well, when you're asking for anything, call it by its right name, what it really is, not by some brand name. Well, that's my tip for the day. Thanks.